Hey guys, Mark from Mark's Boatworks here. Just got my Sonic Wake V2 on the bench doing a little bit of an upgrade on the cooling lines after having it out at the lake on the weekend for its maiden. And like probably a lot of other fellow owners are finding the temperature on the ESC was getting up there a fair bit after a bit of work. So thinking about it on the way home from the lake in the car, I was thinking about what our good man Big B at Ironclad RC was saying. Shout out, brother, about the lines as they come into the boat and just appearing a little bit restricted. So what I've done is just to get scientific with it, I've got here a 5.5 millimeter drill bit, and you'll find that fits in there just perfectly. So that hole is 5.5 millimeters. So it's not just the hole in the transom, by the way, but it's also going through into the inside of the boat where the superstructure, the black supports are. I'll put a photo up now so you can see what I'm talking about. So the tube actually coming through from the transom into the boat, it's around about 15 mil long and is measuring 5.5 mil. And what you'll find is happening, and I've just experimented with this little bit of a dummy that I've done up here. You'll see that I've got a hole drilled, which is 5.5 mil here. And next to it, I've done a 6 mil hole, which I am about to drill out. And interestingly enough, you'll find that using the calipers, measuring the internal diameter of the tube when it's inserted into the 5.5 millimeter hole is actually 1.8, and the inside diameter of the tube when it's in a 6 mil hole, being less constricted, is around about 2.8. So there's a whole 1 millimeter difference in that constriction, which is happening on both lines into the boat, one to the motor and one to the ESC. It looks like the motor's not so affected by this, but it's certainly the ESC is, and I'm just thinking that I think that's going to be a big part of the problem. The other thing too that I've noticed, which might be a little bit of a tip for you guys as well, is this return on the ESC as well. If you have a close look at the tube, you can actually see through the tube and can see that the diameter is fairly good coming off the nipple, running at about that same 2.8 mil width. But just coming into the corner here where it's quite constricted again, it's kinking up a little bit, and you can almost see, I don't know whether you guys can actually see that or if you actually looked at it in your own boat, that constriction at this corner here is coming down to around about 2 mil. So again, we're losing about 30% on this here restriction. So in saying that, with this constriction happening, I think all it is because of the shortness of this loop. So my suggestion, some people have talked about a spring around the tube here, the cooling line, just to keep that a little bit more open, but I think it's still fairly tight. What I'm going to do, and just give it a bit of a go, is basically just make a larger loop. So just demonstrating with that, something along those lines, so that you can see that the natural sort of curvature of the line isn't restricted in any way. Yes, it's a little bit longer, but I think certainly, it might not have to be that big, but just sort of at a length where you're going to find that curve isn't going to kink up and just allow the natural flow of the water. And I think coming around a very tight turn, obviously that reduces the velocity of the water as well, whereas if you've got just a nice sort of long level loop, it'll certainly help things a lot. You've got the constriction coming into the ESC by around about 40-45%. Then you've got about another 30% here, so no wonder the ESC is heating up, and I think that could be a lot to do with why these things are getting hot. Everything's right in the hardware. It's just that, as I said, a very, very simple thing that instead of having the 5.5 hole, drill it out to 6 mil. Your tube is still going to fit in there quite firmly and snugly, so it'll keep the water tightness on the back of the boat. But you'll find that it will allow that tube to open up to its sort of natural inside diameter of close to that 2.8 mil. Yeah, okay guys, well I hope that helps, and if you haven't already done it, certainly do it, and I think that hopefully might be a little bit of a cause of the issues of the overheating on the ESC on these boats. Thanks guys, talk to you next time.